Welcome to the Brass Ass Podcast. I'm your host, Suke Sace. Hey, look, I got something really good here for you today. And you know what? I'm going to talk about those players that sulk. And you know what? And how important is your body language? Because bad body language for hockey players equals bad attitude. You know what? It's always been a huge focus of mine, folks, to talk about a lot about putting our time and energy into worrying only about the things that are in our control. You know, things like your effort, attitude, preparation, and what kind of teammate you are just a few things I want to touch base with today. The other area that I think is vital to success is the player's body language, folks. I'm telling you the truth, it is. Well, that may seem like an insignificant component to a team or the outcome of any game. For me, as a head coach, for a long time, it's a huge factor for any team. Trust me, it is. Because you know what? If you have poor body language, like hanging your head, sulking on the bench, sitting by yourself, away from your teammates, tell me something. What kind of message is that sending to your teammates and your coaches? Think about it. You know, like slamming your stick on the ice when the coach calls you off because you think you got short shifted, or throwing your head back when a teammate misses your pass, not hustling to the bench. Yeah, when your line is changing, or kicking the boards when you think you got benched. I'll tell you, will all get you quickly. You crossed off any scout's list and coach's list. You are gonna freaking disappear from any team list. Trust me, you will. And you know what? These problems, with this attitude and body language, start developing when coaches' decisions with players, and these players start feeling the negativity, right? Which impacts, they think that impacts their time or stature in the lineup. And when a coach starts making some major changes, the body language starts showing up, right? You got to be aware of this. You as a player, I'm telling you, have control over how you choose to react. From a coach's point of view, I can tell you that this is one thing that drives me nuts, right? Bad attitude, bad body language. If you're upset about your ice time and you choose to sit and cry the blues and sulk on the bench, especially during a game, do you really, or does your parents really think that is going to go, maybe get you, is going to get your coach and want to make your coach put you back on the ice? No, absolutely not. I'm telling you, I don't know where some people are thinking about their game. That's not going to get you more ice time. Trust me, it isn't. Because I'll tell you why. You're not engaged and involved in the game, but rather your mind is thinking about how things aren't going your way. The way you or your parents think they should go, right? The reality is that no player is ever going to fully agree with every decision a coach makes. And that's the bottom line. Every player from time to time thinks that they deserve more ice time, or think that they should be used in different situations. I don't, because I felt the same way as a player years ago. But how you conduct yourself during those times, I'm telling you, paints a big picture and tells you a huge story about your character and your commitment to your teammates. So, having said that, yeah, you have a choice. Players, you have a choice. And choices are good, right? Are you going to be a great teammate, or are you going to be a distraction? That's your choice. Because I'll tell you something, if you're sulking on the bench, you're not helping your teammates, but instead you're only distracting them. And that is the truth. Think back to a time when you had a teammate, you're crying, sulking on the bench, right? Well, what's the first thing all the players do when they come on the bench? Well, what they do is they turn to their line mates beside them and say, well, what's wrong with so-and-so over there? Like, you're a distraction, right? That's what starts happening. This creates pulling your teammates' focus away from the game now because of your attitude and your body language. So it's a double whammy, right? For hurting your team. Put it that way. You aren't focused, and now neither are your teammates. They're not focused either. So now the big question is, how do you not fall into this type of trap? Huge question. Well, this is what you do. You suck up your pride and you put your teammates first. I'll tell you, it's one of the best lessons that I've ever learned in my life in the game of hockey. Trust me, right? Learn to put your team, their needs first. Trust me, it's going to work. And I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, but I will tell you it will be worth it. I also can tell you that most coaches are way more likely to give a chance to a player that's positive, upbeat, and genuinely supporting his or her teammates over any player that's sulking on the bench or in the corner of the dressing room. I'm telling you, that's the truth. You got to have the mindset of earning everything, and stop expecting things to be just given to you. Understand that everything is not always gonna go your way, right? But a bad attitude is never gonna help make things better. Let's put it that way. Whether you're in the lineup or not, you gotta dig deep, and you gotta find a way to make a positive impact. I'll tell you, and here's a tip: having a great attitude and body language, good body language, is a great place to start, right? I'll tell you why. There are too many talented players out there in today's game for any scout or any coach to turn a blind eye to bad attitude. So what you got to do is now go and earn your spot on the team. There you have it, folks. Suke Says, the Brass Ass Podcast. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere. You got to Google the Brass Ass Podcast. Also, we're on Spotify. The Brass Ass Podcast. Yes, I am your host, Suke Says. You have just listened to the rest of the story.